Happy Monday. I'm Lashana Guy, and this is Good News Only, the show where we celebrate the stories that uplift and bring us all together. Every weekday at 10:30 a.m. and then again at 1 p.m., we are celebrating the good news only, the inspiring headlines, the local and the community wins that bring a little more light to your day. And I want to hear from you too. So if something good is happening in your world, a personal victory, a community success, a birthday, or just something that made you smile, send me an email to news25 at week.com and be sure to put Hey Shauna, that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so I know it's for me. I would love to share your good news right here on the show with everybody. Today's show, as usual, is full of reasons to smile. But I want to start with asking you this: what makes you feel like a kid again? What are those things that you remember doing as a kid, no matter the age, right? That just makes you feel like a kid again. This weekend, of course, usually I come back and I tell you every Monday that I did nothing for the weekend, and I did next to nothing. I guess I didn't do next to nothing. I did something this weekend. Um, so I was able to just do the stuff that I had planned to do, which was nothing. Saturday morning, but then one of my nieces is at the age where she is starting to be ready to go to the mall with her friends and pick out outfits and stuff. So they have Spirit Week. I think it's this week. And one of the Spirit days is Twin Day. So her and three of her friends, so they're going to be triplets, decided they wanted to dress alike. So my sister, annoyed, but don't tell my niece she was annoyed, had to drive my niece to the mall to meet her friends. And so they're like just where they're starting to make plans together, but they have to organize the plans well. So they're learning how to do that, learning how to be clear and avoid miscommunication. It's so cute. One of the little girls got there earlier. They even tried to do like a lunch yesterday on Sunday, and the same little girl got mixed up in their communication, and so she was actually there early, and they missed each other, and they had to do all these things to make sure she was still included, which made her day. And then they had play dates, but they just felt like big girls because they were able to organize their own little outings. They still had to be driven by their mothers and fathers, but they still felt like a sense of independence, and it was just so cute going with them. I did go with them to the mall to pick out their outfits, and oh my goodness, my sister just was fit to be tied because she's at that age as well where everything you suggest for her to wear, she's like, don't like it, no, don't like it, nope, not wearing that. And so all three of the girls were just in that spot. My sister's like, hey, grab this t-shirt and a pair of leggings and let's go. But they found something cute to wear for all three of them. They decided to go with Powerpuff Girls, little jerseys. But it was just so sweet, just reminiscing on when I was that age, when my sister was that age, and we would go and hang out at the mall with our friends, or we would, get an aunt or an uncle to take us all and drop us at the mall. So we could hang out with our friends and eat pretzels and just do little kid stuff. So it just reminded me of being that age. And I wonder, what are those things that make you feel like a kid again, that make you remember when, for us, we just remember when we were girls. And although my sister was a little annoyed, she was still grateful to be able to have that experience now with her own kid, to watch herself kind of go back in time through her own daughter. So I wondered, tell me, what are those things that do that for you? What things make you feel like a kid again and bring a little more joy to those moments in your life? Send me an email, news25week.com, and remember to put Hey Shauna in the subject line so I know it's for me. Also, don't forget you can follow the show, that is on Facebook, and that's 25 News, Good News Only. You can send me messages there, you can comment on videos, and answer the Get Personal with Shauna questions each week. And today's is, what are those things that just make you feel like a kid again? We'll have more Good News Only after the break. Welcome back to Good News Only. So we'll start today with a major milestone for one of Peoria's longest running nonprofits. They are celebrating a street being named after them. So the Junior League of Peoria marked its 90th anniversary with a special street dedication ceremony on this past Thursday. So Peoria Mayor Rita Ali joined community members for the celebration honoring the organization's decades of service. Lake Avenue between University Street and Knoxville Avenue is now officially named Junior League Way. The Major League focuses on advancing women's leadership through volunteer work, collaboration, and community training programs. I think that's so good, considering that this month is Women's History Month. I think like yesterday was, I'm going to have to look it up and come back after the break, but yesterday was like a Women's something month, National Women's Day or something, I think it was. I think I'll come back after the break and tell you for sure what it was. But I saw that and I thought everything happens over the weekend. And I just made a note to share that with you. But this is really good. Congratulations to the Junior League and all of the great work that they do. Thank you for the great work you do. But congratulations on your anniversary and having this new street or this street named after you. Great job. And switching gears just a little bit, but still locally, 3 young spider monkeys rescued from the illegal pet trade at the U.S. Mexico border are now getting a second chance at life here in Illinois. So the trio were taken from their parents as babies and were being trafficked to be sold as pets before authorities stepped in. I mean, you have to be brave to go to wherever they were living and take them from their family. That's brave, and maybe organized and a lot of it scary. So the rescue facilities in Texas are overwhelmed. So the Peoria Zoo stepped in to provide a permanent home for these monkeys. Zoo staff say the animals are now adjusting to their new environment and beginning the slow process of healing after their difficult start. I wonder what they had to heal from. I know, like when people have puppy mills and things like that, they are in subpar conditions, and a lot of those little puppies are sick. So I wonder if this is similar in terms of just not their living environments being the most safe and stable that would make them have to heal. Be something to do some research on because I just didn't even, I don't know, I guess it never occurred to me that there was a black market for spider monkeys. I don't know why, because I mean, there's almost a black market for everything, isn't it? But so fortunately, these 3 little monkeys, though, are healing and are doing well at the Peoria Zoo. Zoo staff say the animals are now adjusting to their new environment. So that's good. They're also learning how to behave like spider monkeys. I wonder what they were behaving like before. But they're learning how to behave like spider monkeys again with the help from Darla, who is a 30-year-old black-handed spider monkey, and she's acting as their guide. So that's really cool. Zoo leaders say taking the monkeys is part of a larger conservation effort to protect a species threatened by illegal wildlife trafficking. The monkeys have officially completed their quarantine and are now viewable by visitors inside the zoo. So if that's something you are interested in, you should get up there, take the kids. I'm sure it would be fun and insightful. And once the warmer weather arrives, guests will also be able to watch the trio climb, swing, and play outside their habitat. For some reason, if this is at the Peoria Zoo, can you let me know? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this habitat near the reptiles? You know, I do my best to avoid that at all costs. But you all have fun. I think it is because it's inside. I'm gonna have to just be satisfied with the video. Because I think the reptiles are inside at the Peoria Zoo, right? I mean, I think they are at most zoos, but if I'm remembering correctly, where these little guys would be in correlation to those, it's probably a little bit too close for my comfort. But you go and let me know how it was. How about that? after the break, we have, or are we going to take a break now? Or should we just go straight through? I think we're going to go right on through. I'm trying this new little, schedule for our breaks because before we were taking a break every other sentence. And I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more natural. Either way, let me I want to tell you about this little guy, or, well, I guess he's not so little, who is a spelling bee champ. And so now what he's doing is he set up a training academy of sorts for new spelling bee champ hopefuls. So he's a two-time national spelling bee competitor, and he is helping the next generation of students chase their spelling goals. High school sophomore Mir is now host. He hosts this free spelling bee workshops for students and for their parents in California. He says when he was younger, there were very few local resources for students preparing for competitions, and so his workshops focus on vocabulary development, which is so cool to hear him talk about this. You can tell he is a very intelligent young person, and he really is passionate about literacy, words, reading. So he says root words and understanding word origins, not just memorization, is key to being successful at these competitions. He hopes the free program removes financial barriers and the region. Helps make the region more competitive in future spelling bees. I think that is so cool. I really, we always hear people say, well, you have to be able to do math to do anything. And the focus is always on math and STEM. And I think that's important. But if you cannot read, you cannot even do math. You can't, because there are words in math, even if it's just OF. You have to know how to read. And so I think it's important that we have not just programs like these, but we have other students who are willing to help support their peers who care about this enough to feel that it is something to support their peers in. So great job to him and congratulations. I wonder if this is something that some of our young people closer to home have ever thought about doing in terms of encouraging other students to get ready, helping them get ready for spelling bees. I love the point that he's making in terms of removing financial barriers, helping to remove financial barriers for other students who want to compete. It really reminds me of Akilah and the Bee. Remember that movie? Send me an email, news25wek.com, and let me know if you remember Akilah and the Bee, and if you were ever in the spelling bee. I can write very well, but the interesting thing, and I love words, but the interesting thing about that is I can hardly spell to save my life. And I can read a good book, but I don't know why there's a couple of words that just take me out every time. So I didn't even ever attempt the spelling bee. First of all, I hated those spelling tests, and that's probably why I struggle to spell. I won't say I can't spell, but I hated those spelling tests. Hated them, and I remember my aunts used to help me get ready for those spelling tests, and they used to make me write the words 10 times each, 5 times each. It got on my nerves so bad. It was so boring. Um, who knew that years later I would use the same method to teach my daughter and my niece how to spell words and prepare for their spelling tests. And who knew that it was actually one of those methods that, it worked. It worked. Repetition typically works. Either way, we're going to move on to another teenager who is doing something magnificent as well. So this teenager got the chance to reunite with people who helped him recover, who actually helped to save his life when he was most in need. So a group of 4 men in suburban Buffalo, New York. Sorry, that's the wrong the wrong story. Sorry about that. So, an Arizona teenager is creating or celebrating life after surviving a terrifying accident last summer. So, he's 14 years old and his name is Zayed. And he was riding his bike to school when he was struck and pinned underneath a pickup truck. I mean, that's a hard hit. So first responders found him in critical condition and rushed him to the hospital where he fought to survive. And despite making an early mistaken report that he had died, he recovered. And he's now walking again 7 months later. And this week he reunited with, or last week, I'm sorry, he reunited with the firefighters who helped save his life in an emotional thank you moment. Can you imagine the news reporting that you are gone, that you were out of here? Although I'm not sure that it mattered much to him as he was fighting in those moments for his life. But it's just so wonderful to see that he has survived and that he can even walk. To be pinned under a truck, to be hit on your bike, and then to be stuck under a big truck, and that's not a tiny truck. And to survive that is a miracle all in itself. So he's got a lot to be grateful for. We'll have more good news only after the break. Welcome back to Good News Only. Now is the story about that group of four men that I started to tell you about a little earlier. So, a group of four men in suburban Buffalo, New York, for them, golf is doing more than improving their swing. Participants in I feel like did I tell you about this already? I feel like I told you about this. Participants in the Niagara, sorry, Gospel Missions Recon Recovery Program are using golf as a part of their healing journey. The program focuses on rebuilding relationships with God, family, community, and themselves. Volunteers, including a local PGA professional, teach the mechanics of the game each week, and leaders say the lessons of golf mirror recovery. And so it says you won't hit a perfect this guy here, one of the participants and the leader, one of the leaders says you won't hit a perfect shot every time, but learning how to recover is what matters most. And one of the participants, I think his shot is coming up soon. He talks about how he was never interested in golf before. Like it was never an interest of his, something he enjoyed doing or even watching, which I can relate. But he says that since coming into the program, he has found a newfound love for it. He's fallen in love with it, in fact, because it does mirror his own life and personal struggles. And it's an encouragement to him in terms of playing the game and overcoming obstacles and accepting things that are less than perfect in the game and also in life help him to be able to navigate triggers and things that ordinarily may not make sense to him that might cause him to kind of think about using. And this helps him to stay on track. It's an anchor of sorts for him to be able to come and have share this same experience with other people who are navigating some of the same issues. So I thought this was a really great story. This is the guy who said he had no prior interest in golf, but it has changed his entire life, and he credits it with saving his life in some ways. So congratulations to them, and whatever it takes, I always say, whatever it takes, you never know what'll be the thing to kind of save you or to help you connect to life in a different way or in ways that maybe you felt lost or something was missing. So, congratulations to them, and I wish them all long lasting recovery. So, we'll have more good news only after the break. Well, that is a wrap for me today. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25 at WEK.com and let me know what you thought about today's show. Send me an email to news25 at WEK.com. And remember to put Hey Shauna in the subject line so I know it's for me. And you can follow me at 25 News, Good News Only on Facebook. In the meantime, be sure to check out the Midday Newscast and meet me back here today at 1 p.m. for more Good News Only. I'm LaShawna Guy for 25 News. Have a wonderful morning.